Howdy folks, I do hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. Today we have a ranked battle, domination mode, 3 cap circles, starring Notlaw in the German Tier 7 destroyer, the Leberecht Maass. In my opinion, Tier 7 is a difficult tier for destroyers. None of them are particularly great, with the possible exception of the Pan-Asian Gajimada. None of them are particularly terrible either. I mean, most Tier 7 destroyers do at least have something distinctive about them. The Mayhan, for example, while its torpedoes are awful, it does have great close-range gunpowder. The Japanese destroyers are the undisputed kings of stealth and torpedo attacks. The Minsk is basically a light cruiser. So, where does that leave the Maass? Because there's nothing really outstanding about it. It's not particularly fast, although he's doing 42 knots at the moment, but that's because he's got his engine boost running. Its base speed is only 37 knots. Its concealment is, well, it's not terrible, 6.8 kilometers here, but it's definitely not great either. The torpedoes are okay. The range on them isn't great, but it can at least fire them from stealth, and they're not particularly slow. I mean, they're torpedoes, I guess. It's got a smoke generator, but it's not a very good one. It's nowhere near as good as the American smoke. But what this thing does have going for it is a metric ass ton of hit points, 17,500, which is pretty spectacularly good, actually, for a Tier 7 destroyer. And while the gun turrets do turn kind of slowly, it does have good damage per minute with the armor piercing. 128mm AP on this thing is pretty nice. And of course, because it's German, it gets quarter caliber penetration for the high explosive, so very good high explosive penetration. Oh, and also, let's not forget, because it's German, he does also have access to the hydroacoustic surge consumable. Oh, he's been spotted. Bad start. And it's the other German destroyer, the Tier 6, on the enemy team, the Ernst Geider. So naturally, neither of them want to get shot up, so they both smoke up. He hasn't actually taken any hits here, which is quite fortunate because the enemy destroyer has 150mm guns. Now, as we all know, and we do all know this, don't we? It is a hilariously bad idea to lurk around inside a smoke screen after you've been spotted while within torpedo range of an enemy destroyer. And sure enough, both German destroyer captains are not going to fall for that old gag. Although Notlaw at least has managed to score some hits and has taken the cap circle. I'm fairly sure the enemy destroyer was also running his hydro, so there's very little chance any of those torpedoes are going to score any hits. And I mean, despite the fact that Notlaw did score some actual hits, he only did 495 damage. Although he has managed to flip this cap, and no return torpedoes from the Ernst Geider. That's kind of surprising. Oh well, it is what it is. Once again, as I'm sure you've probably noticed, or if you haven't, take a look at the top of the screen. The scores are reversed. Another replay bug. Notlaw's team are the ones who were actually ahead by 80 points with 2 cap circles, and they're flipping a third. Oh, I should have probably pointed this out. Oh, the Fubuki just took a big hit over there in cap circle Charlie. He ate a torpedo while hiding inside a smoke screen. Yes. One way or another, they will learn, the easy way or the hard way, but they will learn. But yes, there are only 6 ships per side because this is a ranked battle. The Fubuki should be able to flip that cap. You know what, we're 4 minutes into this battle and nobody's died yet. What the hell's going on? Oh, the Fubuki, it looks like he's been hydroed or something, because he is getting shot at. Getting shot at by the USS Florida, but the Florida can't have hydroed him, so what was that? Well, the Fubuki smoke is in a good spot, so Notlaw is able to start peppering the Florida with his own high explosive without fear of being spotted. Ah, another German destroyer. That will be what's hydroing the Fubuki. The question is the Fubuki going to be able to get out of there in time? Doesn't look like he is. I think we may be about to... Yeah, there's the first casualty, and I'm fairly sure those Fubuki torpedoes, launched at the last second, are not going to hit the Florida. Yep, he's managed to avoid all of those. Notlaw's managed to get his own torpedoes away. I think we can probably kiss goodbye to Cap Circle Charlie. I mean, Notlaw's... Ooh, that's a lot of... Yeah, that's not good. There's the Gator, the Duke of York, and the Duke of York's high explosive is not funny. And the Florida. Notlaw pops his own smoke. He might get lucky on the Florida here with 1, maybe 2 torpedoes. Certainly not going to hit him with more than that. Yeah, he's got 1, and it's a flood. And the Florida's on fire. Right, that's good news. Now his Hydro is still on cooldown for the next 30 seconds, and he knows there are 2 enemy destroyers over there, so he's not lurking around inside that smoke screen. Oh, the Florida just took a big hit. Yep, Florida's down. The flood finished him. Unfortunately, the team have just also lost their buy-in. They're still ahead though, but they've lost control of Charlie, they're losing control of Bravo. Notlaw doing his best to try to reset the cap, but it's not just the Z39, and he did get spotted, it's the Z39 and the Ernst Gator lurking around in that smoke screen and shooting at Notlaw on the corner over there. And that is not a fair fight. The enemy team have now taken control of the central cap at Bravo. That's 2 cap circles to the enemy team. It's only the cap circle at Alpha that's still in possession of Notlaw's team. The Z39 is going too fast for those torpedoes to hit him. But if he slows down, maybe... Now the smoke screen's expiring. He probably thought that he could maybe torpedo the Ernst Gator, and possibly if the Z39 kept trying to get him and took advantage of the Ernst Gator's smoke screen, he might have been able to get a couple of torpedo hits, but the smoke expired, and the Ernst Gator at least has long since evacuated it. Which makes sense. I mean, they took the cap circle, there's no reason to hang around in there waiting to catch some torpedoes. The team are still ahead on points despite the losses, thanks to that early cap circle lead. And the central cap is now being contested, except it's being contested by the battleship HMS Hood. Yeah. I'm not sure that's a good idea. And he's dead. Which is why I wasn't sure it was a good idea, because he was facing off against the Dunkirk, the Duke of York, and both enemy destroyers. So, shit. The enemy team have retained control of the central cap, and they're about to go ahead on points, as well as being 2 kills up. This isn't good. So, Notlaw knows for sure that there's a Duke of York and a Dunkirk on the other side of this island. There's the Dunkirk, although the radio location skill is still pointing towards the Duke of York. Aha, yeah, that's what we didn't know. Where were the 2 enemy destroyers? We still don't know where the Gator went, but the Z39 is also over there. I would have expected 1 or both of the enemy destroyers to head for the cap circle at Alpha in order to flip that and chase down the surviving friendly submarine, but Alpha is not being contested, so it's likely that they're both still here. Notlaw pops his smoke. I'm not sure who that was for. Possibly the Leon. Gets a couple of shots out. There's only 1 penetration. Actually, no. 4 penetrations, and he has managed to set a fire on the Duke of York. Somebody is now in the cap circle at Alpha with a friendly submarine, though, and things are not looking good for him. He's getting harassed by depth charges, and the Gator is over there with him. Oh, that's really bad. Ooh. Oh, torpedo hits. Oh, he's taken out the Dunkirk. I wasn't quite sure who those torpedoes were. They may still catch the Duke of York too, although they only have an 8.5 kilometre range, so probably not. And sure enough, yeah, the cachalot has gone down. How do you pronounce that anyway? You know what, don't care. Although if you do know, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Right, there's now only 2 of them against 4 enemies. The good news is that they're reflipping the cap circle here at Charlie. Oh, there's a high caliber award. Oh, he's got a fire still burning. Which is nice. That'll be the Duke of York. There he goes. The fire's not going to kill him, of course. I mean, fires last a full 60 seconds on a battleship, but 1 fire isn't going to be a problem for a Duke of York with that much health. And it's already burned out, so, yep, damage is damage. Oh, he looks like he took a... Must have been a torpedo fired by the cachalot. or cachalot. I still have no idea how you pronounce the name of that thing. Right, 2 of them against 4, and the enemy team have 2 cap circles. I've just noticed that Notlaw is the only member of his team who's actually managed to sink anything so far. Which isn't bad, considering he's got high caliber, but that's still only 66,000 damage. Don't forget, the high caliber is not a set amount of damage, it depends how many hit points are actually available on the enemy team to begin with. And since this is ranked and there are only 6, 2 of them were destroyers and one's a submarine, there's not a large amount of hit points available, which just means it's easier to get the high caliber in this kind of setting. Notlaw's got some difficult... Oh, the RPF just switched. Did you see that? The radio location skill. The white arc at the top of the screen. Oh, there's the Z39. His stealth isn't great, but he does at least manage to outspot that thing. It's sneaking around and going after the Leon. And the Leon's seen him. And of course, Notlaw is coming to the assistance of his only surviving teammate. And he's perfectly safe here from everything other than the Z39. Got the island in front of him. So he doesn't have to worry about the Duke of York, he doesn't have to worry about the... Well, probably doesn't have to worry about the Gator, and he certainly doesn't have to worry about the enemy submarine. Okay, the Z39 is now entirely the Leon's problem. And it is a bit of a problem. RPF just switched. Yep, there's the Duke of York, right on the other side of the island. Now, he's not in any danger of capturing this central cap at Bravo, not with the Duke of York right there. And the Leon he's given as good as he gets. I mean, he's doing some fair old damage to the Duke of York. The Leon has a lot of guns. None of them are particularly accurate, and they're not that high caliber, but it's got a lot of them. It kind of subscribes to the principle of throw enough shit at the wall and some of it's going to stick, and some of it is sticking. Notlaw's clearly spotted. He's got no smoke, he's got no engine boost left. Is he going to wait to try to get the firing arc on the torpedoes? It looks like he is. He should probably start shooting now. At least maybe start a fire. Hopefully, well, I say hopefully burn the Duke of York's damage control, but if he hits him with a torpedo, it's not going to matter whether or not his damage control's on cooldown. And I think he is going to hit him with a torpedo. Oh, speaking of getting hit by torpedoes, I think that was probably the enemy submarine. Don't know if the Leon... Right. Trust the torpedoes? Yep, you got the Duke of York. Now give the Gator the good news. Remember, the Gator has 150mm guns, but it pays for them with a slow reload. Oh, come on, one hit. One hit is all it's going to take. And there it is. Not quick enough, unfortunately, for a double strike. Unfortunately, to get that, you need to score the kills within 10 seconds of each other. Oh, more torpedoes. And I don't think the Leon... Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, that was it. That was the enemy submarine. Okay. We know 2 things. The Z39's over there, because that's where the radio location skill is pointing. And the enemy submarine is... Well, he's not on the surface, because if he was, Notlaw would be spotted. And Notlaw is spotted. Is that the Z39? Probably the Z39. Okay. Knowing where those torpedoes came from, he's moving to the right side of the island to keep it between him and the enemy submarine. Which does mean he's currently in something of a fair fight between himself and the Z39, because these 2 destroyers are pretty evenly matched. But it's better than being in an unfair fight between him, the Z39, and the enemy submarine. Took a hit there, knocked his engine out, but he does have a last stand skill, so he can keep going. And he is flipping this cap circle now, which means the submarine is not in this cap circle. Sure enough, submarine torpedoes. And note that the radio location skill is still pointing towards the Z39, so the submarine is miles away, and therefore not an immediate threat, but the Z39 still is. Neither of those 2 enemy ships are inside this central cap, though. Notlaw is still flipping it. Just waiting to get his engine back up. I mean, he has the last stand skill, but, I mean, this thing isn't that fast in the first place, and it's better to have full power to the engine. He's managed to take the cap circle. I mean, he's still losing. The enemy team are at 800 points, but he's only about 100 points behind. Now, he's paying very careful attention here to the white arc of the radio location skill. That points in the direction of the closest enemy. And it looks like whoever the closest enemy is playing chasey, chasey, catchy, catchy, killy, killy around the island there. Going around the other side. So they are flipping it back, but let's face it, this battle is never going to be decided by who's got the most cap circles. This one's coming down to the kills. There goes the Hydro. That's his last charge of Hydro. Notlaw's just slipped back inside the cap circle here. So the Z39 knows two things. He knows that Notlaw is somewhere inside Hydro range, and he knows that Notlaw is inside the cap circle. But now he's not. So the Z39 is now thinking, I know he's close, he's got to be coming around the island, but which side? So he's got a 50-50 chance of having his guns pointed in the right direction. And his guns are pointing in the wrong direction. He's reversing out and taking a beating, which must mean he's launched... Yeah, there are the torpedoes. Hydro was running, he saw them coming. There's the kill, the Kraken Unleashed. Kill number 5. He's managed to dodge the torpedoes. There was a sonar ping from over there to the left. There he is. Okay. He's managed to dodge the second ping. Here come the torpedoes. He's going to use the damage control now to mitigate the torpedo homing. The submarine pops up to spot him again, hits him with another ping, but the damage control was still active, so the ping didn't hit. Damage control's now on cooldown, so the next sonar ping is going to stick. But from here on in, the only plausible explanation I can give for what this enemy submarine captain does, because you can't launch torpedoes from the side of a submarine, is he's suffering from a sudden and very fatal rush of shit to the brain. He's got a full charge of battery. I don't even know why he's on the surface where he can get shot at and get hit by torpedoes. But that's what he decided to do. It must have seemed like a good idea to him. Your mileage may of course vary. And in case it wasn't already obvious, that was Notlaw sinking not one, he just sank the entire enemy team. 6 kills in a ranked battle when there were only 6 ships on the enemy team. Notlaw, go and have a good lie down, mate. I think you've earned it. You can let the team carry you in the next battle. And I hope you all enjoyed watching him wipe the floor with the entire enemy team there, because that's it for today. As always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.